Our top story tonight, some going down in November.
Wars, spending.
There has got to be something big a-brewing.
They're using geese to guard prisons in Brazil.
Does Biden know what Mexico
policies.
is? Would you scare Joe Biden? What are we laughing at?
I think Billy Mays was real.
I'm a world-class skeptic.
I don't know anything about Hunter Biden. I don't know who's big into cocaine and laptops. Why is that our problem? Complete, absolute incompetence. Like, who funds the news? It's a freaking inside job, man. That the entire world's a stage and everything's fake.
Welcome back to another episode of Touch Me Tuesdays on the Veritas Road, where we talk about the things that touched me this week, and hopefully we can touch you too. Listen, folks, I have to, right out of the gate, apologize. We have been off our streaming schedule this past week because I attempted to do a pull-up and pinched a nerve in my spine that laid me out for literally the last 5 days. So my apologies for not sticking to that streaming schedule because I am a little a bitch. I think that's the best way to describe that. I think it was on pull-up 11, actually, for those of you who were. So I'm mostly complete bitch. Yeah. I finally got chiropractic treatment yesterday that has alleviated that pain, and so I am now functioning like a 45-year-old man normally should. And you might say, Carson, you're 32. Yeah, that's the fucking problem, but we're working on it. So yeah, we're glad to be here on this delightful Tuesday with you people, and want to talk about all the things that I was touched with. And John, you're just smirking at me. Do you have anything you want to say?
It's just, who would have thought 11 pull-ups could just end a man's life like that for a whole week, where you just were not a functioning human. It was a sight to behold.
It wasn't great.
As you came over here last night so we can do a little bit of planning for the week, and literally had to stop like every 45 fucking seconds to just endure pain.
That is true.
And it was very funny.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the first time that's ever happened to me. I've done a lot of pull-ups in my life. I don't know what was different this time. Everybody keeps saying it age, and to those people I say, fuck off. It's not age. I refuse to accept that. I'm invincible, and it's fine. It's fine. We're all fine.
Yeah, it was 11, Dave. So not much better than 1.
Yeah, like is that really any better than 1? I don't feel like it is. Like it was on 11 that my back said fuck off. And so yeah, it wasn't great. So all of that being said, we're back tonight. Go if you haven't yet, go check out the Patreon. We are working weirdly hard for us on getting content put there and getting things produced. We've got our early bird special going on right now. It's $2 a month. Go check that out. You'll get bonus eps, extended content, access to the Patreon, a whole mess of stuff. Am I missing anything on that front, John?
To the Patreon by joining the Patreon.
Sorry, Discord. Access to the Discord chat. Am I missing anything on that?
No, we'll have to talk about Discord's doing some fucked up new privacy bullshit with like age verification.
Oh shit!
And I've got to look into like what's going on.
We might move that chat.
We might have to move that chat to like Telegram or something.
Yeah.
If Discord's going to be fucking gay.
Yeah, it's literally the only thing I use Discord for, so I had no clue.
But yeah, we did our first Patreon exclusive episode on Thursday.
Yeah, we did.
With Tyler, which was a good time. I'll have like an edited, polished looking copy in there. Hopefully tomorrow is the goal, but at the latest Thursday, to have like an so you can have that on audio if you join, completely unedited. The first hour of it is public on YouTube, so go check that out. And then the second hour was a good time. We got into a lot of shit. It was a good conversation.
Yeah, I thought so too. I really enjoyed it. So we're gonna have to have Tyler on the show more often because he's a good one, man. I enjoy talking to him. As well, go check out the audio platforms. We're on all the audio platforms: Spotify, the other ones, Apple Podcasts, and what else? Audible. We're on Audible. We're on fucking Amazon Music if you like to suck dick.
Yeah, maybe
Amazon Podcast, is that what it's called? Yeah, I think we're there too. We're on all of them. because Spotify for podcasters just puts them there. And then go follow our Twitter. The last one got nuked, so go give it a follow, show some love. We would really appreciate it, as well as the YouTube channel. If you haven't followed the YouTube channel or the Rumble channel yet, give those a follow too. Every little bit helps us out, really, it does. So
I gotta fix that channel.
go give those a follow, even though that banner looks
I'm
horrible.
gonna have to fix that. That's not how it looked when I uploaded it, when I created this Rumble channel. I don't
That's
know why it's
unfortunate.
Rumble is a good
Got a
platform.
complaint, John?
It's a good platform to like have relative freedom to say what you want, but its interface to actually use it
poor.
Sucks.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's truly awful.
I'll have to figure out what's causing that.
If you see me struggling, I still have a hard time lifting objects with my left arm. It's very embarrassing. I have a gallon-sized water jug that I take to work with me every day, so I don't have to drink water that's full of chlorine and fluoride and hormones that'll make me gay or gayer than I already am. So I take that bottle with me, and I can't lift it with my left arm right now at all. I'm used to just lifting it with one arm like a normal functioning human being. I can't. Like I physically can't. I've tried. It falls out of my hand. It's horrifically embarrassing. If this is what women feel like, God bless them. It's got to be a hard life. I can't imagine how you go through your daily life if this is the way you have to live. Is this what it's like to be? Is this what it's like to be Stephen Hawking? Like that? That's I'm
He's
starting
dead,
to.
so
He is dead. Yeah,
allegedly.
yeah. I'm starting to have some compassion for the crippled, even though I have 4 functioning limbs. And retarded people. I feel yeah, like it must be tough. So my sympathies go out to all the retards.
Yeah. 11 pull-ups got you to sympathize with crippled people.
That's all it
Who
took.
probably have been like hit by freaking cars and strokes and birth defects, and yours was 11 pull-ups.
Yeah. I like David's idea of starting to take some steroids. I had like clinical steroids offered to me a time or two this week because I went to I called an allopathic physician, which I'm embarrassed to say I did, to make sure I wasn't dying. And then he was like, "Yeah, I can give you a steroid." I was like, "No." And then that was the end of it. But maybe I should get on some bodybuilder steroids, and get super jacked. Maybe that's what I should do. That seems like a lot of work, though. I don't want to do that. So, now that we're done with the exposition, let's get to the meat of what we're here to talk about, guys. It's Tuesday. Let us touch you. So there has been a ruckus about this person whose name I had never heard of. I didn't even know who Samantha Guthrie was until literally earlier today. Apparently, her mother has been kidnapped. They stole this 82-year-old bitch out of her sister's house, I think, and it's been like all the rage in the news. This lady is allegedly a big name on the Today Show. I didn't even realize people still watched the Today Show. I thought after Matt Lauer supposedly raped that lady or whatever he did, people stopped watching it. But I guess people still watch it, and I guess she's popular. I had no clue. And she put out this video. If we scroll down a little bit, she put out this video that I thought was just it's an Instagram video. And look, I'm not trying to be the tinfoil hat guy that says everything is fake and gay. I'm really not trying to be, but it just seemed strangely performative to me. Like let's just watch a little bit of it, and I'll let you guys decide for yourselves yeah.
On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too. Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She's funny, spunky,
Can we skip ahead
and
at all?
clever.
Is that possible?
She has grandchildren
All right,
that
pause it. Maybe let it run for a little bit muted. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Can we not? There should be a mute button on
I
that
can
window,
mute it.
John,
I
if you
can
use the
mute it to
Chrome.
them. Let me just go and open it and skip it. I think I can do it to that. Okay.
Okay. So, damn it. Sympathies to these people if this is actually happening. Like, it's very sad. Some 82-year-old lady, likely with dementia, was allegedly kidnapped, right? That is very sad. I do kind of feel like watching this, I'm watching an actual like real life episode of CSI Miami play out in real time, and part of me thinks that's fun. And maybe that's bad that I'm having like a weirdly strangely, if you see me gosh, I'm twisting my neck because my arm's starting to hurt. If you it feels like you're watching a crime show on TV play out in real time, kind of, and it's like the pseudo low production value, right? We got all the siblings together to talk about like why are we doing this? Why would you if your mom got abducted next week, right? She sometimes watches this show. Would you get together with your brothers, all three of you, on this couch and give some kind of like weird written out statement? It just seems very strange. It seems a little odd and kind of performative to me. I don't know why. Go ahead and play a little bit more of it. Her sister starts to talk at one point, and I want to point. I think it's weird how in situations like these, people will say like just like very simple statements over and over again. Hopefully, folks will get to see what I'm talking about.
Her with kisses. She loves fun and adventure. She is a devoted friend. She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
I don't think your mom's captors are going to want to talk to her about that. I'm just going to put that out there.
Nancy is our mother. We are her children. She is our beacon. She holds fast to joy in all.
Again, I just find that a little odd. Like these weird, simple statements. Nancy is our mother. We are her children. She is our beacon. We are her children. Mama always said life's like a box of chocolates. It just seems very, very strange. Very odd. And they put out like several videos now of these three siblings dealing with this, and I don't know, something about it doesn't sit right with me. I can't tell exactly what it is. Maybe it's just because this lady's like kind of famous in a weird way, like she's on the Today Show, and they're like really blowing this. Like this is all over all the mainstream media right now. Like the front page of CNN, Fox, AP News, like they're all covered in this bitch's face. I can't cover it in her mom's face because she's gone, so it's covered in her face. And so it's odd how big this is getting. If my mom went missing next week, how many people would know? Like 8 people. She knows like 8 people. Those the amount. Nobody's going to put together some kind of weird publicity stunt because a 70-year-old woman went missing in rural Tennessee. It's just not going to happen. And so, like, that's another thing that kind of bothers me about this is 82-year-old people go missing all the time. We miss them in nursing homes. Like they just wander off. Who knows where they're going? Why is this one so special? I don't know. It just seems, and maybe this is a weird place to get like hung up. But it seems odd to me. John, any thoughts before we move on? I don't want to spend too much time on this.
I mean, not really. I hadn't even heard of this. But the biggest, I mean, I'm always skeptical of any person in any type of really big corporate public eye that a story's made out of. It's never what it seems. Right. I think anybody who's been paying attention long enough now, it's like it's never what it seems. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes? Is this some type of like...
Is it real? It might be real.
Is it real and some type of threat to get compliance out of something? Like these people make so many different deals with so many different messed up people and entities to get into the positions that they're in.
Yeah.
It's hard to really care about it, especially like empathize or like sympathize with it, you know?
Yeah, no.
So I kind of just avoid it.
You're absolutely right. And maybe that's like the thought to take away from this is we're reaching the point, especially like out there in the media space, where your first thought when you see this is not sympathy for the people who are, you know, may very well be going through a very difficult time, right? At least for me, it's not to feel sympathetic. It's not to, you know, want to like offer up some kind of like, you know, prayer. It's what are they lying to me about? What's going on? And that's a really like sad place to be in when somebody reaches out. They're like, hey, my mom got kidnapped. What kind of screwed up place in society are we where my first thought is, no, it didn't happen. What's really going on? Like, what a terrible place to be. It's kind of sad. Like, it's kind of a sad commentary on where society on the whole is at. And I'm not trying to use myself for a litmus test for all society, but that's, at least for me, like, the first reaction is bullshit. I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people had a very similar reaction. It's just kind of an indictment on how far, the whole traditional media complex has fallen.
Yeah.
It's just not legitimate anymore. And you kind of have to look at all of the stories that they're putting out there with a massive caveat. You can't take anything at face value.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. And it's just, I don't know, it's disconcerting. It's disconcerting. And sure, legacy media is dead and nobody cares anymore. But for me, this is just a commentary on how far gone it is. Kind of couched in the terms of something that would otherwise be like super sad and alarming. Thinking of some 82-year-old lady out, riding around with a bag over her head. That's sad.
Yeah.
Mimi's missing. Sad day,
Yeah.
It's hard for me to even talk about it in legitimately like emotional terms because I just can't find it in me to believe it.
Yeah.
Which is terrible if that's really what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm the asshole in that instance.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. And yeah. All right. Anything else on this job before we move on?
Not really, no.
Okay. So I saw earlier today, this week, I can't even remember when, I saw one of the greatest feats of debating I think I've seen on a congressional floor. And I thought for the edification of all of our listeners, it would behoove us to listen in on this very wise young lady in Congress interviewing a representative from ICE. This is a very politically touchy subject, but she carried herself, I thought, with a great deal of aplomb. Also, ads are a pain in the ass. I think this one's about over, so I think this one's about over. Sorry, folks.
Consider yourself a religious man?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes. Okay, well, how do you think Judgment Day will work for you with so much blood on your hands?
I'm not going to entertain that question.
Oh,
ma'am.
okay, of course not. Do you think you're going to hell, Mr. Lyons?
I'm not going to entertain.
Of course not. How many
The
government...
gentlelady will suspend. The
How many-
gentlelady will suspend.
Chairman?
A gentlelady will suspend. As I said, the issues we're debating here are important to ones that members feel deeply
Okay.
about.
Thank you.
Listen, on the subject of stereotypes, I would just say stereotypes become stereotypes for a reason, and this lady is representative of why they become what they are. I'm gonna start out saying that. I think stereotypes just don't appear out of thin air. Okay? If somebody behaves a certain way, and then somebody else who happens to be similar to that person behaves the same way, you may assume from a logical place that people like that, in this case, Congress people, obviously that's what I'm talking about, behave a certain way, right? And so that's point one, right? Stereotypes aren't bullshit. They're around for a reason, okay? Point two, what a great way to get somebody to see your point. I think this is probably on par with like putting a campaign sign in your yard and expecting that to change some asshole's mind who drives by. Like when's the last time you drove by somebody's yard and saw you're like, you know what? I think I will vote for them. I like the yard. They have very nice bushes. They have great bushes. I think I'm going to change my mind. When's the last time that happened? It's never happened. Okay? And I think this argument tactic is on the same plane as that. Hey, are you a fucking asshole? Are you convinced now? I've called you a cunt. Are you convinced? You little bitch. Are you like, what good are we doing? And these are people, the wild thing, okay, is this woman probably has at least 2 degrees, probably owns a business, right? A lot of people in Congress do. This woman has allegedly been educated, maybe at a nice university. Maybe mommy and daddy spent a lot of money for her to go to a nice Ivy League university. And this is how, A, she comports herself in public. This is how she talks like a fucking moron, right? And at the end of the day, I think the main thing you can pull from this representation of the what is it, the diplomatic process, there's a name for it. There's the name of what they do, like in these forums. You know what it is, John? It's like it's fucking, it's not congressional.
I don't know, faggotry.
Something along those lines. Yeah. But like the thing that I think this can tell you is it's all so obviously fake. It's so obviously fake and gay. If this is the way things are going down, right? When we're interviewing an ICE agent, so some fat guy who likes to drink beer and just woke up and found himself in ICE one day, all right? With this lady saying, "Hey, you think you're going to hell? You think you're going to hell? You son of a, you're going to," like that's her argument. When these people are in Congress, you're telling me you still believe in the idea of like America? You probably think grandpa still got your nose, okay? This is a completely nonsensical way to view reality. But there are going to be a shitload of boomers who watch this, right? They're like, hell yeah, it's good for, they put that bitch in line. That chairman really told her to button. No! It's all fake. It's all gay. And that's probably going to be the theme of tonight, honestly. Any thoughts, John?
Not a ton. It's very obvious that she is a very unimpressive person. It's pretty obvious that the person that she's talking to is a pretty unimpressive person. I had this similar commentary last week on the other video that we watched. Is this place breeds unimpressive people, right? And they just put out conversations between two retards to kind of facilitate the show that they're putting on. And it's
parliamentary. That's the term. Parliamentary.
Look at you. I'm proud of you.
Sorry.
You've made me lose my train of thought.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's clear that they're unimpressive. And you know, anybody who actually understands argumentation, knowing that, hey, if I state a claim and just present it as true and then make you argue against that claim without actually me giving a case for why it's true, that's a logical fallacy.
Yeah.
That's a complete logical fallacy. And for whatever reason, these are becoming incredibly more obvious. I doubt there's that many people still out there that would watch that and you know, be galvanized by it or think it's really legitimate discourse in any way, shape, or form. So I don't know. I've by the day am losing any type of energy or interest in even like acknowledging that shit exists. You know?
I absolutely
because it is just absolutely stupid. And I don't even know what to say to people anymore who do buy into that and are galvanized by it and think that this is like, you know, this ICE person putting her in her place, or that dude who's banging the gavel like a fag putting her in her place. Like, it's just dumb. That's the point that we're at. It's just dumb.
Absolutely. It's completely idiotic. I personally find it kind of entertaining when these run across my screen, but it's a complete waste of time and energy.
I used to find it entertaining when it was like the drama was getting really, really like intense.
Yeah.
You know, between like 2020 to probably 2024, it was super entertaining and it was super funny. It's not even at the point of entertainment anymore.
What would you call it then? What would you call it?
I don't know. Like that's my problem. I don't know. It's not, and it's like kind of my biggest thing when I've been thinking about, you know, how the political culture is going, is it's dropped legitimacy and it's dropped entertainment.
I would call this entertaining personally, but
it's not. It's just not. It's like it's at the point, and I think most people are getting there. It's just like, this is just exhausting, you know. And it's like, if you've dropped it, like legitimacy, that was thrown out the window a long fucking time ago, and you've dropped this kind of entertainment factor. That's what kind of got people galvanized and paying attention to it through, you know, 2020, 2024, through all the election bullshit. How do you sustain it?
Well, they're not.
I know
that's the
that's
yeah, that's the answer to that
the
question.
observation that I'm making. It's like they have dropped any pretext to sustaining this to the long term because they're not even making it entertaining anymore. They're making it exhausting. Like even for the people in it, like the people in, the MAGA movement and the libertarian movement is like they're all getting exhausted by the narratives that they're putting out. They're not even like making fun of them or mocking them, taking it to like the extreme there. It's just like, hey, this is dumb and exhausting and I don't want to engage with it anymore. And like, that's not sustainable. It's not sustainable in the long term. So it makes you wonder, is it time? Are they putting this to bed? That's the question that I've kind of been pondering is like, it seems like they're ready to put all of this bullshit, this like control structure. This seems like they're ready to put it to bed.
I think that's a fair assessment. And I mean, I don't know. It's definitely not as exciting as it was under Trump. I enjoy the lack of attention to detail that they're exhibiting at this point. Like it used to be, at least this would be built up is like, you're right. Like some kind of legitimate alleged discourse, some kind of legitimate argument against pseudo-intellectuals, right? But they're not even doing that anymore. You're right about that, which is part of what it's like watching Jerry Springer back in the day or Maury, right? Like who's the father, who raped who? Like we get to find that out in Congress now. It's fun. But you're right when you say that it doesn't have any legitimacy anymore. They're not even masquerading like it's real. And I don't know. I mean, I don't think anybody really knows what the end game is, but it does seem like there is a pretty hefty transition afoot. And to your point about even like a lot of the because for a long time, it was all of these like super aggressive leftists who were given a voice and they were just like super exhausting, but it's everybody now. It's all the ICE rants. It's all the, sandwich people rants. It's even a lot of the libertarians are still trying to drive home the same nonsense point where they're like, yeah, America's still worthwhile. We can save this country. What do you want to do about immigration? Let's talk about immigration. What's the good idea behind? Fuck off. It's a useless gesture to argue about these things because we're starting this discussion from a fundamentally retarded place. The idea that there's this legitimate entity here to like govern the people with any level of legitimacy or benevolence. And that's just not the case. It hasn't been, maybe ever. Like as you go, as you learn about what the United States potentially actually is, like has it ever been a legitimate entity? I don't know. But it's certainly not the case now.
Yeah.
And this this nonsense Congress, even like some of the kangaroo court stuff that they drum up, I find it hilarious. It is disturbing, but it's for me. It's more of a like I either laugh or I freak out. Sad and alone on my couch. So I like option A. I prefer giggling over mass hysteria and panic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not promoting mass hysteria or panic or in any way. I'm just saying it's like, hey, if you are a critical thinker, conspiracy theorist, truther, whatever you want to call yourself,
closet homo,
you're in the game of pattern recognition at this point. You're in the game of noticing trends.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that you have to notice is like we're trending away from this. It's realities. We're trending away from this. If you pay attention to the culture, you pay attention to the news, you pay attention to social media, it all seems to be trending away from this. And if that's the case, something's got to take its place. And you got to be aware of that.
I think that something is already starting to take its place. And we talked about this a little bit a while ago, but I think they're building up some of these individual figures to take the place of a lot of this. Like people like Trump, people like Candace. They're building those people up to take the place of a lot of this bullshit. And I think a lot of that drives towards some kind of not past mass centralization of the media, eventual mass centralization of power in the long run. And
yeah,
I mean, that's alarming for sure. But I don't know. To me, it seems like that's the direction it's headed. Because sure, everything was centralized, under this weird like Mockingbird media operation, but we had to pretend like it wasn't.
Yeah.
At some point, that mask is going to get ripped off, but we have to find a legitimate way to fake do that in front of the people.
Yeah.
And it seems like we're driving towards whatever grand unveiling we're going to have for that. There's got to be. It's Hegelian dialectic type stuff, right?
Right.
Was it problem, solution, reaction, or whatever it is? Like, it's got to be something like that. And it's got to be where this type of shit is driving.
Yeah, and I've tried to been screaming that from the rooftops, because it's especially those of us in kind of conspiracy theory circles and truther circles, we're starting to kind of get a lot of golden apples. We're starting to kind of get validation on a lot of the shit that we got a lot of, arrows for in the past talking about.
Yeah.
They're starting to materialize, and people are kind of losing their broad picture in that. The Epstein files is a big example of that.
Yeah.
Is people are kind of losing sight a little bit of what's going on, because they're being validated by these people.
Yeah.
And it's a dangerous road to walk if you're not paying attention to the trends.
Yeah.
Because
Wholeheartedly agree.
there are reasons that this stuff is happening.
Right.
And I've said it time and time again, they are, if you're paying attention, they're tearing down this order. It seems to me like a fact at this point that this order is being slowly deconstructed. And in light of that, it makes some of these, golden apples that we're getting actually kind of questionable,
No, I think you're exactly right. I said this, I can't remember if I said it on the show or not, but I said this again today to somebody, because a lot of people are, and we're going to talk about him again later tonight, but a lot of people have been super focused on this Epstein stuff, and neither you nor I have been super hyper focused on them at all.
Yeah.
And I think there's good reason for that. And what I said was like, doesn't it seem weird? Don't you wonder why all the people who are implicated in these files decide to give them to you now? Because those are the people who are releasing them.
Yep.
Doesn't that seem a little strange? Doesn't that seem, you're going to trust the people who are allegedly implicated as fucking a bunch of kids in this child with giving in these files? Talk about a Freudian slip there. You're going to trust the people who are implicated as raping and murdering kids, is, taking adrenochrome, sacrificing people, trafficking. You're going to trust the people who are implicated with that, right? Or in those files, to give them to you and to give you the truth. That is such an insane thing to think. Like, when you sit down and reason it out, that's a ridiculous thought.
Yeah. And like all the conspiracy theorists out there, when they were saying this at the time of, Pizzagate and, the late 2010s, is they were talking about how this massive orchestrated ring of pedophiles and, Satan worshipers were controlling everything. It's like, yeah, and if they're that orchestrated, they're not going to get caught like this.
Right. And we've been begging them to give us the truth.
They're not going to get caught like this.
Yeah.
It's people have got to think about, like, they've got to just use their brain, step back from what they're telling you, step back from, the validation you think you're getting, step back. Yeah. But step back from everything they're giving you and ask why. Just ask why, and don't get so caught up in the trap that it seems like they're laying out in front of you.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And I've just been trying to yell that at people time and time again, because it's like they're laying traps for the conspiracy theorists. They're laying traps for the critical thinker, and you're going to feel like you got one up on them. You're going to feel like you won.
Yeah.
And it's just going to pull the rug out from under your feet, and just think. Just think for a little bit.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Take a step back and use your noggin. Use that noggin. And with that, we're going to circle back around and talk about those a little more later. I want to move on. So everybody has been talking, and we can pull up the son of a bitch. We can pull up the regular halftime show and just have it playing in the background if you want, John. This is the TPUSA one. That's here, but everybody has been talking, obviously, about the Super Bowl and the halftime show, and this is tinfoil hat theory time. Okay, I tend to look, and I don't know how many people subscribe to this belief, so this could be a theory from a retard. Hashtag new segment idea. This could be a theory from a retard about what's going on with these, but I tend to look at events like this. Like we all know that there are a lot of occult rituals that go down with these big events, right? Like the Super Bowl. That was very obvious in, what was it, 2020 that they had the weekend, or 2021? Like that one was super occult. Yeah. Whichever one they had Kendrick Lamar on was super weird. Yeah. That one was real creepy. This last one that they had with, what is it, Bad Bunny, right? Yeah. Who's some like Latino rapper, I guess, was not, at least to my eye, as like blatantly culty, blatantly Satan worshipy. Okay, now there were a few weird things about it, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't as like in your face. Like instead of somebody swinging their dick in your face, you just got a picture of their crotch on your phone. Like it was not nearly as blatant during this show. Now the one thing I will say, and again, like, well, let me back up. For me, I tend to look at a lot of events like this that aren't as objectively occult, that aren't as obviously like, I don't know, just like satanic, as potential markers for what could maybe, like, being representative of what kind of time we're existing in. And a couple of things that I noticed, I don't know if you watched any of this, John. Did you watch it at all?
No.
I didn't until yesterday. One of the things I noticed is, there is not a damn word of English spoken for like 95% of the Super Bowl halftime show. There's one small port. I recognize the word no and the word marqueta. And that was it. I know what a market is in Espanol. That was it. It was like 95% in Spanish, except for when this weird, creepy looking white lady sang in English for like 45 seconds. And it's a depiction of like this, like, I don't know, weird Latin American party, you know, and it's all, you know, a bunch of super hot Latina chicks dancing. And for me, with all the cultural push for like diversity and all the ICE stuff, right? I don't know. It seems to be somewhat representative of what may be coming down the pipe. Maybe the pendulum's going to swing the other direction, right? We're starting to see, like, from places that were once upon a time trying to instill Spanish as their official language, which I think they tried to do here in the great state of Tennessee. I think there was a movement to do that in Nashville for a little bit. There should be in Shelbyville, a town close to here that's literally completely Mexican. Was that weird white chick Lady Gaga? I thought it was. Okay, I thought it was Lady Gaga. So she's got a dick for sure. But it makes me wonder if that pendulum's about to swing the other way. If we could potentially be seeing like a swing away from all of this like talk about immigration to another like super liberal time where there's going to be another mass influx of Browns to your area. It does make me wonder that. Additionally, and this is something else I thought was odd, there was a pretty I don't know, what's the term I'm looking for here, John? Obvious is not the word. Prominent scene with power lines in it, where he's like, they have like a bunch of dudes pretending to be linemen and dancing. It's towards the end, John. Right there. Yeah, there it is. And two things. A, there was like a bunch of power loss down in Puerto Rico, where this guy's supposedly from, a while back. But B, I think this is kind of weirdly apt given the giant snowstorm we all just experienced and the masses of people that were without power. I just find this a little strange and a little odd, and I just don't know, because this one didn't seem as obviously like culty. And it was weird. It was weird looking at something and not like panicking immediately. And so me being retarded, I'm like sitting back and trying to figure out what occult symbolisms could be in this. And the best I can do is figure, you know, maybe there are some changes coming down the pipe to make this a little bit more like reality, or make reality a little bit more like this. some Mexican guy waving his crotch on a telephone pole coming near you. Like, that is the only rational thought I have about this. Any thoughts about this particular version, John?
I didn't watch. I didn't watch it, and I'm not going to. That's the amount of it that I'm going to watch because I have tried to make more conscious decisions of not engaging with that retarded bullshit. But what I'm kind of thinking about, given, and I think you had some more stuff on it in the doc. We can talk about it here in a little bit. But given like the dichotomy of the TPUSA kind of conservative Christian nationalist, Republican, whatever term you want to throw on it, halftime show.
Right.
And this is very clearly like a leftist, democratic, we support, or we are opposed to ICE and we like the immigration.
Yeah.
It's like they're weirdly trying to trigger whatever cultural trauma that they've instilled on people through this ICE and, immigration debate, and like keep that going and like subtly
Kind of force more dissension.
Yeah. It's like, and they do this a lot with these weird, like halftime with all of these weird performances.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not just
point.
about like the ritual that they do, is they're trying to trigger different traumas that they've subtly put on the masses to kind of reactivate some of these thought processes that those events invoked.
Very MK Ultra.
Yeah. It's
Very
what they do.
MK
It's
Ultra.
what they do with these. It's like, it's also like, it's a weird type of triggering event as well. And they're definitely with the two, is they're trying to, and it's weird why they're doing it, because it doesn't even really seem like that was going away.
It's not.
And
but
that's
you
why
have to-
that's why I'm kind of perplexed by it. But they do that all the freaking time, and they're definitely doing that with this, and still trying to incite that division and that kind of hostility that was going on in the culture. And obviously, it's been really located in Minnesota, but they're trying to kind of bring that, it's violence, it's anger, it's all this negative shit, and they're just subtly putting that out on mass.
Right. No, I mean, I think that's a good point. And I think that is well documented. We're going to skip down a little bit, kind of under that same thing in the doc, John. Okay. It's well documented by, no, back up. It's under the same like heading where I'm talking about the Super Bowl, but towards the bottom. Yeah. Well documented by, we have a state representative here in Tennessee.
He's our congressman.
We have a congressman here in Tennessee who put out some fun tweets about the halftime show. And for anybody who watched it, there was no porn in the halftime show, but his tweets, he's like a super conservative Trumpy guy. And I honestly have historically been kind of a fan of his because he kept Columbia open during 2020.
Yeah, he was our county mayor during that.
So I was definitely a fan of his back then. I don't really know what he's been up to lately, so I have no clue. But where's go to the other one? Go to the other one, John.
You linked the same thing twice.
Son of a bitch.
This is the exact same one.
Okay. Well then, last night's halftime. Oh no, this is the one I was looking for. Sorry. Last night's halftime show was a disgrace, and it mocked American families. Depicting gay pornography on primetime has no place in our culture. The Bad Bunny performance is conclusive proof that Puerto Rico should never be a state. Who gives a shit if Puerto Rico's a state? No one cares. All right? No one gives two fucks. Now, I would like to think if I saw it, I would hopefully recognize gay porn. I'm reasonably certain I would. Okay? I put this entire show on while I was eating Mexican earlier today, because I knew I needed to see it before the show tonight. I did not see any penises in any assholes. There was no gay porn. And for me, to your point, I think this is an example of the kind of division they're trying to drive, right? The kind of division they're trying to push out with a show like this. And if you'll go to his Twitter page and scroll down kind of slowly, I'll know it when I see it. I'm going to keep talking. This is absolutely an example of the kind of dissension they're trying to push out there manifested in the behavior of a senator on social media. Like, you can see it in real time playing out right in front of you. Absolutely right in front, right here, right in front of you. And he posted another tweet that I just had to share with our audience. It's a photo of.
Be honest, that's an epically edited photo.
It is.
Just from the, like, I guess I did say earlier, I don't get a lot of entertainment value from these.
It's
I
great.
get a little bit of entertainment value. Like, it's creative.
It's a photo of George Washington in an ICE uniform. It's saying if George Washington were alive today, he'd join ICE. I stand by this statement. I couldn't help but burst out laughing when I saw this earlier today. It's absolutely just political gold. I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But you want to talk about the kind of dissension that they're trying to push on people being very plainly represented in behavior of actual people. Like Andy Ogles, I can attest, is an actual person.
Yeah.
Behaving like this because of shit he's seen in the news.
Yeah.
It's absolutely working. And to that point, we have kind of this, like, I don't know, we have kind of pressure from both sides going on. So we have, to your point, John, this Super Bowl halftime show that appeared to be kind of structured to create division amongst the populace. And then to further that, we have Team Erica Kirk putting on their own halftime show. Now, this is something I thought was interesting. Okay? They had this holding screen for the TPUSA halftime show. Take a wild guess as to when the actual show started, what timestamp it is after the YouTube video started. It was 40 minutes and, you guessed it, folks, 33 seconds into the video that the TPUSA halftime show started. Let me say that again. 40 minutes and 33 seconds. I think that should already tell you something. And so we have on one hand a bunch of just libs and browns, and then on the other hand we have all of the, like, weird, gross, pseudo-Christian nationalist America, fuck yeah, people, and the 8 of them that watch this are over here participating in what appeared to be, to me, to be a more culty looking performance than what they actually had at the Super Bowl. Now, it wasn't like overtly culty by any, stretch of the imagination, but skip ahead, John, just put the regular bullshit on in the background. Yeah, it appeared to me a little bit more culty, but like very like America is our savior type stuff, the kind of stuff that used to cut weight with, all the boomers and all of those people. And one thing that is not related to any kind of conspiracy theory or any kind of truth community, anything that I just have to get off my chest, I cannot stand art forms that come with their own community. That is the reason I don't like country music or this sumbitch with brass knuckles on his microphone. What kind of bitch-ass faggot needs to put brass knuckles on their microphone? There is some cuck in his parents' place who's like, hell yeah, he's got brass knuckles on his microphone. Yeah, hell yeah. Like, that is such gay nonsense. But these shows appear to absolutely be out there to create dissent. It's 40 minutes and 33 seconds, Q, by the way. It's the 33 seconds bit that I find a little suspect. But
there's some square and compass, maybe possible imagery on the floor, but I'm not gonna.
There could be some.
I'm not gonna devolve myself into just looking for symbolism and driving myself mad.
Right. There's no point in doing that. But it's very, very. I don't know. It's odd that this comes out when it does. It's odd that we have all this dissension, the Latina one versus the American one. We're kind of creating 2 different teams for you to be a part of.
Neff Hunter got
right?
there.
Damn it, Neff Hunter. It's very odd, and I I don't know. Why would you want to participate in either one of these? I just think it's strange. And I don't know. Any thoughts on this, John? It's just odd.
Yeah, and I might get into this more later on as we have a couple other topics to unpack. I had a thought on it and I kind of lost it.
Okay.
You said something on there that I wanted to key on, but I got a little bit distracted just watching the video. I just don't know. I'm very skeptical of the entire right-wing Christian nationalist movement that they're playing.
Yeah.
I think it's getting into ridiculously dangerous territory. And like 3 million people tuned into this concurrent, like live concurrent. And what's it at? Like viewership, 21 million people have watched it completely. Like it's a powerful cultural force that's going on. Yeah, man, it's yeah, little bit, and it's dangerous, and we'll get into it. I think a little bit more tonight once we get into the Twitter folder. I don't know. It definitely bothers me.
I think to hopefully maybe put words to what you're
Put
trying
words in
not to
my mouth.
say. It appears to be there to capture the energy and attention of people who would hopefully otherwise put that energy and attention into good things. Like we're taking Christianity, right? Good spirituality. We're transmuting it into Christian nationalism, right? Then we're taking that, right? And transmuting it into this weird, culty, pseudo-Christian nationalist movement that doesn't even make any sense. Like it's so weird. And I think, at least for me, that's what like doesn't sit well with it. And to kind of further that problem, like, and I mentioned this a second ago, anything, any concept, any art form, anything that you could do that comes with damn it, Q, I'm sorry, I didn't catch the sarcasm. I'm full retard today. I'm sorry. Anything that comes with like its own culture that you have to take part in is automatically suspect in my book. Like this whole concept of like, if you want to go to, I don't know, a country music concert or a hard rock concert or be like in a motor, own a motor. You're looking at me very skeptically, John. You're not understand like what I'm getting at?
Not really, no.
Like country music comes with its own like culture and lifestyle. If you want to go be a Doctor Who fan, it comes with its own culture and lifestyle. The one for country music, let me answer the question in your mind, would be pretending to be like a rough and tough, brother from out in the country when you're really a fag who wears a hat and gay ass boots all the time. That's the culture. That's the culture it comes with. But you're almost like required to participate in these things as a part of these like movements or art forms. The same thing is true if you like go to a Renaissance fair. The same thing's true if you go to like any kind of emo. Like pick your favorite thing. There are some of them out there don't come with cultures that are almost like you have to participate in, but TPUSA, as far as I'm concerned, absolutely does. Like if you're at this concert, right, there are certain opinions, certain ideologies that you have to subscribe to. You don't have a choice if you want to be a part of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would, in art form especially, I was thinking that's more of an extension of culture, was where mine was going, and that's a waste of a time of an argument, I think.
It is.
But I see what you're saying. And for this in particular, it seems like it is a very well coordinated effort, as you said, to just grab off what probably would be, I think you're right, what probably would be a pretty productive segment of the culture who have values that we would espouse as good.
Yeah.
But haven't gotten so far as to understand how to direct them, actually how to like enact them, and think that they can enact these values in a system that in all honesty directly opposes it. They just don't realize it.
Yeah, no,
And
exactly.
like the Turning Point USA, the Christian nationalism has been a perfect deception into grabbing those people and pulling them away from actually understanding the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. You sounded like you had more to say. Sorry.
I'm thinking I will later on because we have a couple other things on this topic to address in the Twitter folder.
Yeah.
So
We do. Yeah, there's more to come on this. But I don't know. I just thought it was odd. And the clear like dichotomy between both shows is just very strange. And obviously, like I think in the whole context of when this is happening, it's super weird. Like we have all of the ICE stuff going on via the liberals. We have the weird ice storm that just came through. And then like why are they just now deciding to have a halftime show now that Charlie Kirk is dead? Like, why is that a thing? You know? Why we wait till he was dead? Why didn't we do this the last year he was alive? You obviously knew it was coming, more than likely. Why didn't we have it before? It's very strange. It's a little odd. It's a little odd. If he actually is, we don't know. But like, why? Why now?
I mean, it's more perfect timing. They've painted themselves either by the nature of their ideology or just a good deception. They've painted the whole conservative and right-wing ideology as reactionary, and the best way that they galvanize these people is reactionary to retardedness. You know, they've made the left perfectly retarded, perfectly stupid, and go into all of this nonsense that like reasonable people would never participate in.
Yeah.
All the LGBTQ, faggotry, all the other shit, and they know how to best galvanize these people, and it's reactionary. It's grabbed the probably natural warrior spirit that a lot of these people have, and just throw it into a void.
See, that's where I would kind of disagree. I don't think a lot of these people have natural. I think a lot of them are cucks, but that's just me.
It may be, but they know how to take whatever, as you said, whatever good productive energy they have and throw it in the void. The best way to do that is just reaction after reaction after reaction after reaction.
Yeah.
Right. They'll never actually, at least maybe not, maybe we're getting to that point, is that they will take on the front foot and start being proactive. That's where I start getting very,
nervous?
very, clenching my butthole, because that's a weird world if that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But up to this point, that's how they've moved these people along every step of the way.
Absolutely.
And the Charlie Kirk one is obviously going to invoke a massive reaction, because now you have a martyr,
Right.
Yeah,
and it's the perfect time to kind of bring that movement to a fever pitch, right? We have a martyr now. We have forgive the terminology, but like a messiah figure, if you will, who we can hold up and drive people into a frenzy. It's the perfect time for something, like the absolute perfect time for something like this. And in conjunction, this is another thing that's just occurring to me, in conjunction with like Putin welcoming all the Christians into Russia, the shit we're going to talk about in the Twitter document later tonight. Like, it's just very convenient timing that all of this is going down at once. And they paint a lot of this like, hey, you're a rebel. You're a real rebel for watching this show. You're standing up for something good, sitting on your fat ass, you cuck, watching this. You're doing such a good job turning off that Spanish nonsense. Good for you. George Washington would have jerked off to watching you watch this right now. It's just such retarded faggy bullshit.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see what else we have here. It is a great way, this is something I meant to mention, but it is a great way to just glaze the boomers, and I think that's kind of nice. I think they deserve one. We shit on them a lot. I think they deserve to win. I feel like this was a win for the boomers. Good for them. Unpopular opinion. So this is one I thought was interesting, and especially in light of, also thanks to Nephhunter for sending us this video, especially in light of all of the ICE stuff that's going on right now, and there was something else that made me want to talk about this. Now I can't remember what it was. Damn it! But it does make you wonder. Oh, the America's like 250th anniversary that's coming up. That was the like it makes you wonder how much of the alleged history that, well, people who got super hard about the TPUSA halftime show believe in, like how much of that is really real, how much of that is really true, how much of this stuff, you know, you were told was built here by a bunch of pioneers with nothing but a hard dick and a shovel was really built that way. How much of the stuff we're told was, you know, built on the backs of slave labor, right? To make you feel like for some strange reason, like a garbage person, even though you had nothing to do with it. How much of that was actually built as a result of any of the stuff they tell you built it? It's so strange. And even before all of this like super guilty language and the super guilt-laden perspective was super popular, this was a thing. Like read a school history textbook. They're like, well, back in the 1830s, people used to build good shit, but they built it with slaves. Your grandparents may have been slave. Your grandparents' grandparents may, and you should feel bad. They could have been slave owners, and you should feel bad. You're bad, and we just wanted you to know that you're bad. And then you move on. It's weird how they try to instill that guilt in you from a super, super early age. And I think part of that is not to get too far afield because I want to watch this video, but I think part of that is in an effort to kind of, it's part of a concerted effort to breed out a lot of the healthy dissension and aggression that a lot of young men and women have in them. Like men from a very like protect my family standpoint, mom from a like love my kids, protect my kids standpoint. It's a great way to breed that out because from an early age, you're going to wonder like, shit, I didn't do that. Why would I feel guilty? And people are going to tell you, no, you're wrong. You should feel guilty. And they'll tell you that in class before the question even arises. And so you start to doubt why you even feel the shit you feel.
Yeah.
And then fast forward and you're 32 and you're having a conversation with people at work and you're like, damn it, can I tell them they're wrong? Or you're having a conversation with some cuck on this. You're like, damn it, can I tell him he's being an absolute faggot and an idiot? Right? And so I think it is part of like some weird long con, the way they teach this stuff to children. But you have to wonder, is any of it even real?
Is that the cue to play the
It
video?
was. I was hoping.
Well,
I was hoping you would.
hit in that rant. You hit probably about 4 different pauses as a cue to play the video, and I pulled it up 3 times. So, and it didn't happen. So I stopped. Does he have music in it? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, we're gonna find out real time.
Yeah. Or will we?
Your history is all AI. Photoshop has been around for hundreds of years through various means. Photos themselves are much older than we are told. At least 200 years. And I don't believe the first Photoshop is in 1857 like they say. The Mona Lisa was printed. It wasn't painted. Renaissance paintings like the Mona Lisa were made with 2-micron paint. 30 to 50 microns is the average today. It was perfectly layered and couldn't be replicated today. Yet we're supposed to believe that Da Vinci made it with mortar and pestle paints. Nothing today can be compared to what was being made in 1434 by Jan van Eyck. The reflection in the background is perfectly displaying the reversed image. No one can replicate this level of detail. This is a print, a laser print. Photoshop was also done through etching. We have all been getting catfished. How much of the history has been etched away? These are the original filters. Cartoon filter, whitewash filter, sepia, grayscale. Supposedly there were no Civil War photos in battle, but plenty right before. And it doesn't stop with people. Looks like a lively city block, huh? Those people are painted in. This is in the New York Public Library. You can see they're painted in if you look closely. That horse was never there. You can see they removed people from this one. Their legs are still there. I'm sure many of you know about the Vanilla Sky photos. What a terrible crop job there. They edit out the skies and remove buildings. The sky is commonly cropped out poorly. This whole building is superimposed onto this block. Yet they have been able to solve overexposure in the skies since 1867 with the collodion process. Oops, actually 1857. Yet we get vanilla skies even into the 20th century. Maybe this is why. Even in film we have layering. Half the people aren't even paying attention to this. History is worse than chicks with BBLs and filters. And don't get me started on the sculptures. I've actually been to this place too. The name of this piece is called Deception. It's made out of a block of marble. It's a fishnet made out of a block of marble, and he made it in secrecy. More laser technology that the mutants took over after the reset. That
Okay.
slightly raised ping.
So I would argue that it's apparent from a lot of the artwork we see from the past that shit did not go down the way we said it did. Now, I do kind of I don't want to give up the idea that a person could have done this, because I love the idea that like human talent, like raw human talent and drive and excellence could produce something like that. Like I think that concept is like super cool and very beautiful and kind of divine in a way. But like how many people are really producing sculptures like that, like or ever could? Like it's a weird claim, and especially when it comes to like all of the apparent Photoshop shit, right? How much of that is actually real? How much of that was done? How many of those pictures were painted the way they say they were painted? How many of those photos are like old ass exposures on a lithograph, right? Whatever the hell that is. Like how much of that is actually real? How much of this stuff we read in a lot of these history books about Lincoln or George Washington is actually real? All of these talks about like when the last Great Reset was it around the 1800s or was it before that? Were all the history books simply just rewritten and we have no clue when it happened? No historian. I'm the opposite of a historian. I'm a retard, but I have no clue when it could have been. But I think it becomes more and more obvious with each passing day that a lot of this stuff we hold up is like historical truth is complete and utter bullshit. And with like as that falls in your mind from an intellectual space, so too do a lot of these like I don't know, like pillars of nationalistic morality that a lot of us grow up with, like to kind of bring us full circle. All of this like TPUSA, America first, fucking George Washington coming in, guns blazing, dick hard with an American eagle on his back. Like, hell yeah. You realize how dumb and fake and gay and pointless that is.
Yeah,
and how
man.
useless it is.
Yeah, you know, you look at the Ministry of Truth from 1984, and with the ability of AI, like that thing could be rolling so easily and you'd have no clue.
Yeah.
And then is like you can get into real deep, which I kind of, in a way, a little bit of hesitation or fear don't really want to touch, because I feel like it can easily break you down. You start looking into the Mandela effect in different ways. Reality can actually be in some weird physical way manipulated and changed.
Yeah.
That's all, very strange. There definitely is a some sort of put together effort to make changes to history throughout time.
Yeah.
And first and foremost, it's a psychological warfare tactic, because everybody is going to go and like, I remember that differently.
Right.
And it makes you just doubt. It makes you doubt your intuition.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing of what it's there to do, is to make you doubt your intuition, make you doubt that natural ability of judgment and discernment that is like ingrained in your spirit by the creator.
Yeah.
They want you to question that, and they want you to get you as far away from ever listening to it as they possibly can. That's the biggest thing that's going on at Meta with this. However the hell it works, it almost doesn't matter however the hell it works, because that's what they're trying to do.
A meta with what? Oh, you mean on a meta level?
Yeah.
It's confusing because yeah. Okay.
Sorry. You can debate all day how it works.
Yeah.
Again,
Lost in the weeds.
You'll get lost. Ask why.
Yeah.
And that's where they're getting at. It's a massive psychological operation.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think you're completely right. And to your point, I'm not going to say like it's a useless gesture to try to figure out why. I think it's super interesting. But if you get stuck on that and if you get stuck on that and as a result sacrifice the greater picture, you're misguided, period. You just are. Like, and so, yeah, that being the case, they're doing that from a super, super young age. Like that stuff is taught to babies.
Yeah.
To babies.
Yeah.
We're attacking that in kids who are literally like, what, 6 months old?
Yeah.
It's the first time in like the nursery class at church. Maybe you're taking them to like a Mother's Day out program, and you're learning stories about America, George Washington, all of this potentially fake history at that age.
Yeah.
How alarming is that?
Yeah, it's definitely alarming. And the way you see a lot of it playing out now, like the whole America's a Christian nation. It's founded on Christian ideology. And It's
Yeah.
like we've got to, we'll get to that in just a second because we got a couple interesting videos to watch on it. We've got to push this Christian nationalist ideal, and we've got to get God back in the government. And then you actually think about it, it's like Thomas Jefferson removed Jesus from his Bible. Like he removed
he did.
his classification as, a
deity.
Removed all of the supernatural elements about him, removed the virgin birth.
Yeah.
Like he took all of that out.
It's a little strange.
That narrative that's been given to you, right-wing Christian nationalists, is a bold-faced lie.
Yeah.
It's a bold-faced lie. I think most of the founding fathers weren't even Christians to begin with. They were various forms of like deist and shit like that. It's a massive, massive lie. And they are using a lot of these historical narratives to manipulate you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I think the founding fathers were probably closer in like modern day parlance to like a lot of these faggy liberals who are like, God is everywhere, God is everything. Like that tree could be God.
No.
Like a lot of this existentialist, transcendentalist nonsense that they were touting back then. And it led to a lot of beautiful literature.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a great philosophy on, spirituality or how the world works.
Yeah.
I think too, and this is not something I enjoy saying or even hearing. I think understanding that and how early, at how early of an age most people are brainwashed can give you a little of compassion for some of these retarded uncles you argue with at the family barbecue. That guy has literally been brainwashed since he was shitting himself at 2 years old. Like. He's been brainwashed for that long and like legitimately, fundamentally brainwashed. Not some kind of weird, he saw some shit on the news. For me, it's hard even doing this show weekly to grasp the scope of the propagandizing and brainwashing that happens to regular people all the time. And sure, is it possible to break out of it? Absolutely. But it's happening constantly and on such a deep, dramatic level. I think it's easy for people like me and people like you to lose compassion for a lot of these people. It's like, fuck, it's another retard. It's some other cunt that doesn't understand what's going on. They're going to try to talk to me about some like local business nonsense. I don't care. I'm thinking about some very specific people that you know. And I'm like, I don't care. I just don't care. And I can't find it in me to listen to those discussions. But at the end of the day, I think for people like me, because this is a self-preach here, it helps to understand the depth of the brainwashing they've experienced to have enough compassion to actually be able to interact with these people. Because I mean, a lot of these conversations are fully retarded. Your retarded uncle that shows up, your grandpa that can't talk about anything but, CNN or Fox News, Mimi, who, all she can think about is fucking, the starving kids in Africa. They've been propagandized and brainwashed since they were babies.
Yeah, man.
Can't help.
And it's in so many different ways. They've been tied in economically, and as you said, through education. It's there everywhere, and they have so much built up in this system that just people who are younger as the system is degraded just don't have. And when you don't have that, when you don't have these things like tying you down, it's kind of easy to
let go a little bit.
Let go.
Yeah, and reevaluate. It makes reevaluating things a lot easier because you're not tied to a concept or an ideology the same way a lot of these people were, even socially. Like a lot the drastic way that they've attacked like traditional family values is bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to debate that. But it has opened up the door, I think, in some ways, to the idea of being able to question stuff. Does that make sense? Like, it's become a little more mainstream to be able to question. And when somebody meets a rational person that's able to question, it's a little bit easier now. And even, like, forget the cunty thing I just said, which I do think is true, but also, like, post 9/11, post-corona, it's a lot easier now to wake up to those realities than it is for Mimi and Pop, who lived, through all the nationalistic shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure I completely follow on the the attacking traditional family values makes it easier to question. I think I actually kind of take the opposite view. I think it makes it harder to question. If you're raised in a healthy, functioning family unit, that is as God intended, you're going to by nature be taught to question. You're going to be taught independence. You're going to be taught
No, I agree
all
with
of
that. I
these
agree with that
things.
wholeheartedly.
So
yeah.
I'm not sure I understand your
My thought is like in
thought
like a
process.
public forum or a more public forum situation where you're talking to like what maybe some assholes you work with, they're already used to like concepts that they hold a little more dear being attacked by retarded people, right?
Mhm.
And so when those concepts are reevaluated by people who are not retarded, right? We're saying, hey, maybe Christian nationalism is not a good idea. Let's talk about actual good, like traditional healthy values. I think they're a little bit more apt to listen now than they would have been 20 years ago because of the retarded attacks that were levied
Okay.
on those values.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I think
yeah,
in a
yeah,
weird
okay.
way,
Yeah, I see
it's
what you're
kind
saying.
of opened the door to the ability to have those conversations. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I kind of see what you're saying. And that kind of gets more into what we said before. It's like, hey, as this whole order and system is broken down, the people who were not so ingrained with it
Yeah.
have been able to step away, and they're easier to wake up. And dude, that concept is right there in Scripture. If you think about it, that's the concept of the rich young ruler.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. Is he had so much, like he had the intention, right? He had the intention to see the truth.
Yeah.
He went and sought it, but he had so much tying him down to the exact opposite of the truth that when it was presented to him, he missed it.
Yeah. He's like, nah, bro, and walked away.
Yeah. Like that concept speaks very loudly to the world today.
Mm-hmm.
It's much more than like, oh, he had a bunch of money and that's why he misses. It's like, no, man, it is, he had an ingrained
Vestment in the system. Yeah.
and he had a faith that he didn't realize he had.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that people don't catch on that story. It's like that dude had a faith in something and he had no clue it was there until he was actually confronted with losing it.
Yeah. No.
And we, like, this entire society, church, politics, wherever you want to go, they've got that faith somewhere. A lot of them have that faith rooted somewhere.
Yeah.
And when and that's the thing, man. It's coming time that they're going to be confronted with losing it as all of these orders like go away, right? So that's the biggest thing is like they've built up their faith in all of these different structures, health, the healthcare system, the financial system. And we've established on this show, I think that at least my view is that they're going away.
Yeah.
With that, their faith has to go away. Those faith in those systems have to go away. And something has to come in behind it to capture it.
Yeah.
Right? Something's got to take it.
What's it gonna be?
What's it going to be? I think from a positive point of view, I actually think that's a pretty freaking awesome opportunity that people who are paying attention, stand in the truth, can go in and grab a lot of people and be like, hey, watch the fuck out. Whatever they're going to want to give you, they've already pulled the rug out from under you. Whatever they're going to give you is going to be 10 times worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when I'm talking about, paying attention to, trends and cultural pushes and shit like that, that's why. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what's going on. Is these faith structures, they're going away. And something's coming for it. And you got to be paying attention to that because it's the only opportunity you're going to have to step in and intervene.
Yeah. And you're right. They're going to have to backfill that void. They're going to have to fill that space. And what's going to fill that? Is it going to be like truth on some level, or is it going to be whatever these entities are trying to fill that space with? And that's what's alarming, because whatever it is, it's going to be tantalizing. It's going to be attractive. It's going to be sexy. It's going to be hot.
No.
And so, no, I mean, I think you make a phenomenal point there. Is those systems are starting to disappear. They're weirdly under, like, I don't know. Attack might not be the right word, but like they are. They're disintegrating before our very eyes.
They're just under deconstruction.
And maybe that's a better term. And the the faith that these people hold in them, the investment that they have, is with those systems slowly disappearing, is slowly dissolving.
Yeah.
And vacuums don't exist for long. Like, you're not going to have a vacuum. Vacuums don't exist, in my opinion. So something's going to fill that space.
Research flat Earth.
Yeah, right. Like, vacuums aren't a thing. Something's going to fill that space.
Yeah.
What's it going to be?
Yeah.
That's a good point, John. That's a good point. Anything else on this before we roll on?
No, we've probably got a little bit more content where we'll touch on that a little bit more. So
Yeah.
just keep going.
I will say just one last thing I want to say about that.
And we also already have been going for an hour and a half. So if you want to skip a couple things,
shit.
we can maybe do that.
Okay, let's see here. I do want to touch on this next article just very quickly in light of what we just talked about. So go ahead and pull this up, John.
The CNN one?
Yep. So obviously there's been all this talk about the Epstein files and everything. Kind of start to slowly scroll down. I'll tell you when to stop. There's been all this talk about and everybody is super obsessed with it. We talked about it earlier. Like, it's weird how everybody is up in arms about, okay, stop right here. And then we'll probably scroll down a little bit more. Everybody's up in arms about, what's going on with them, what's not, what's in them, what's not. We have J.D. Vance a while back talking about, like, what possible interest would it be for the U.S. government to have in keeping them secret? Well, obviously, like, that was some nonsense, in my opinion, meant to, like, try to garner trust from people. Keep scrolling down. CNN put out this article about where people are getting their news. You can stop here. And who agrees with, maybe it wasn't agrees. Maybe it's like, who's interacting with the Epstein file discussion and who's not. And they said, I think it's like before the last document was released on January 30th, 50% of Republicans leaning independents said they heard or read a lot about the Epstein files, compared to 72 of Democrats. Keep scrolling down. I want to find the actual portion of this that I saw that was quoted. Essentially, here we go. Yeah. Right down here. Yeah. So no, this isn't it either. Damn it. What it came down to was they were saying, like, left-wing news has been reporting about it, and a lot more than right-wing news. And I'm really pissed that I couldn't find the portion of this article. It's making me sound retarded. They were talking about how, okay, here we are. I think this is it. 46% of Republicans said that the Epstein files mattered at least a little in November, to drop to 36%. They're saying the Democrats think they matter a lot more because they're hearing it reported a lot more in, I guess, left-leaning media, but that Republicans aren't as upset about the Epstein files because they're not seeing as much about it. And the main point I want to is, it doesn't matter, okay, whose ass you're eating it out of, you're still eating shit. Like, this whole discussion of, are you getting it from here? Are you upset about this from there? Are you pissed about this? Are you upset about that? Are you getting your news from here? Are you getting it from there? Like, it's completely moronic, okay? It doesn't matter where it's coming from. You're still eating shit. It doesn't change anything. And I guess we've kind of hit that a lot tonight, but I thought this was a prime example of how moronic that is. And we don't have to stay on this long, John. We can move on to the next thing. Let's see here. We can skip. Click on that AP News article, and then we'll skip the one after that. So, we're upset that Trump is gonna keep grant money from the CDC and public transportation. Go ahead and scroll down. There's a quote in this article I wanna get to. Ooh, pause. So the funding that we're upset about them not getting is health research money that's aimed at studying the health impact on specific populations. Chief among them are groups in Chicago disproportionately affected by STDs, specifically adolescents, racial and ethnic minorities, and faggots. That's who it's studying. Some people from the CDC they have a groundbreaking study we have to fund for how teens, browns, and fags have more STDs than other people. I don't think you need a study for that. How about we just say, if you do a lot of butt fucking and take drugs, you might end up with an STD. I think we can all agree on that. Why do we need a study out there for it? Who's buying this shit? Who's listening to this? It's completely insane. And we're getting a bunch of libs all up in arms about it. It's just so wild. And I mean, I'm already not a fan of the CDC, but reading this, I found that so ridiculous. John, are you worried about teens, browns, and fags?
I mean,
getting the STDs? Are you concerned?
Oh no.
Why not?
To say, am I worried about like them getting close to me? Then yeah, but no.
It's just such a ridiculous concept. I don't even know. I don't have anything else really to say on that, other than we know teens like to fuck. They're retarded. That's why they should have parents. Maybe don't let your kid go do that. That mom and dad. I don't even have anything else to say on that other than stop. That's all I have to say about that is just stop. We can skip the next one. And the next few are on Epstein, which I feel like we've talked enough about that tonight. Let's move on to Twitter, and we'll kind of wrap it up with this. So we've seen a ramping up of a lot of the Christian nationalism, especially since, when was Charlie Kirk assassinated? November? Or no, that was October?
It was in August.
August. Wow. Time flies when you're dead.
It was at the end of the summer.
Okay. We've seen a huge ramping up of that, and what I noticed a while back, we don't have a video of this, but that I wondered might be a precursor to this.
It was oh yeah, that's right. It was the day before 9/11.
Oh yeah, that's it. It was September 10th. Was Putin came out and was like, hey, we're tired of traditional values getting attacked. I think we covered this a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Getting attacked in Russia. We're welcoming all the Christians in, and I wondered what America's response was going to be. Well, here it is, folks. Our fearless leader.
To support this exciting renewal this morning, I'm pleased to announce that on May 17th, 2026, that we're inviting Americans from all across the country to come together on our national mall to pray, to give thanks, and we are going to do something that everyone said, like, that's tough. We're going to rededicate America as one nation under God. You know, a lot of people... Yeah, thank you very much. That's what I mean by the Spirit. It's so incredible to see it. I see it so much. I've never seen anything like it.
Oh my gosh. This is the first time I've actually watched that through. We've got a lot of good people, a lot of very good people who have been in Chicago. They've been butt fucking kids. They've been doing a lot of gay sex. We've seen a lot of teens, a lot of browns. A lot of browns have been butt fucking. And we're tired of it. We're tired of all the STDs. We need people to get together to pray. We're going to pray. Who are they going to pray to? Like, is there what are the odds, John? Are there any odds on Trump actually being any kind of not Satanist? Any?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, he's openly said that he doesn't ask for forgiveness from God.
Yeah.
So I never understand how I never understand how these, right-wing, Christians, mostly from the evangelical sect, like, buy into this. how do they buy it? I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Because it's like the dude that they're so about backing just seems to be very opposed to the values that they hold. And Neff Hunter, he pointed it out, like which God are we talking about? God, that's not the God of the Bible's name. It's not.
Yeah. No, I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
Sorry.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
That is not the God of the Bible's name. It's like the God of the Bible has a name. So for Christians, it's like you got to ask that question. It's like, who are they talking about?
Yeah.
Because you get into Deuteronomy chapter 32, and it talks about like the nations, those that were outside of Yahweh's covenant, were handed over to other Elohim to be administered and ruled by, and those Elohim failed. They're under the control of fallen angels. They're under control of rebellious entities to Yahweh.
Yeah.
So if you read that verse with any type of like literalness, Christian nationalism doesn't work. It's spiritually, in my opinion, incompatible. It doesn't work.
It could never work. I mean, but what's your main reason given that like line of thinking? Because I don't think you drew that line very clearly.
Because the nations that are outside of the covenant with Yahweh are under the control of little g gods, other Elohim that are in rebellion and opposition to Yahweh. So you cannot have America, which it's not a covenant nation with Yahweh, united with Yahweh. It just doesn't work. Its God is something else that is in opposition to it.
Okay, I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. That is, I mean, I think, yeah, that's a good point. I don't know, like, does that covenant nation even still exist? Would be my first question.
Yeah, it's the church.
Well, that we're gonna have to look into that more. I don't know what I think about that because, like, when you talk about like a covenant nation, you're talking about the way I read. Like, we're gonna get off on a tangent here if we talk about this too long. But you're talking about like a kind of a religious, like, spiritual nation state.
Yeah, that's what the church is.
Well, would ideally be, but it's not. It's a bunch of people like scattered across, the world who seemingly have nothing in common other than, in a lot of cases, other than, but to call it like a nation, I think is a stretch.
A nation,
it doesn't make rational sense.
A nation is not necessarily a state. It's an identity. It's an identity group. That's what a nation is. It's not necessarily the government. It's like it's like the values and the ideals that the people hold that holds them together. That's a nation.
I mean, I'll give you that.
Right?
I guess my issue is with the semantics of it, because when you talk about like that original covenant group, everybody's going to assume we're talking about everybody's going to assume that.
The original covenant group was Israel.
But
and they're still.
When people extrapolate that from then to now, people are going to assume that's what you mean.
Well, yeah.
And I know that's not what you mean, but I don't think most people.
The original covenant was Israel. I don't see why people have to like try to subvert that. That's just Bible. Like, God made a covenant with the Jews that has nothing to do with the people who are occupying that land now. That's a different discussion for another day.
Yeah.
That I don't think anybody who's really paying attention thinks that that's those people. But if you look at it, throughout it, it's like, yeah, he made a covenant through them. He fulfilled it and brought those in Christ into that covenant to where they are now also a part of that covenant nation with him.
I mean, I guess from that standpoint, it does, like, I'm with you. I understand what you're saying. I think that the semantics, at least initially, were a little off. I get it.
Yeah, and the point that I'm trying to make is that Christians have to realize that, hey, you're a part of a different nation. You're a part of the nation of Yahweh. You're not a part of America. You're not a part of, whatever national identity you want to ascribe to. That's why Christian nationalism
is
in the American
doesn't work.
Cannot work, because you're not a part of that. You're a part of something else. You're part of the nation of Yahweh. And that's your identity. And that's the point that I'm trying to get across, is why this doesn't work, because it is selling you an identity that is not yours if you are a part of the body of believers.
Well, I mean,
it is its own, and we'll get into this probably a little bit more tomorrow. So maybe a little bit of a
Yeah.
teaser of the stream we're going to do tomorrow. It's why like our misguiding of what the church is so problematic, because we've lost that idea that, hey, we are a part of a nation in a sense as a body of believers. We've lost that,
I guess I don't think the term, I don't want to quibble over semantics. I don't think the term nation makes sense in the modern context of the word. If you're not talking, it's like taking the definition directly from fucking Merriam-Webster's or wherever you're getting that from. I don't think a community, sure, I'll give you that. Calling it a nation, I don't think makes rational sense in the way most of us think about
that's
it.
where I actually think where we've become a little bit of a problem. It's a little bit more than a community. Like a community, a community is a part of a nation, but again, the nation ascribes identity.
Like the whole idea of like it being the thing that binds everyone together. Yeah, I mean that makes rational sense.
That's the point that I'm getting to, and why I don't actually think it makes a ton of sense. Like that's why I actually do think it's important to actually kind of quibble over that word a little bit.
I guess for me, I look at that as being tied up in like your identity and having community with other people. For me, I look at that as being bigger than just like, oh, this is Bill who I have some shit in common with. I look at that as being a much like deeper kind of metaphysical thing almost.
Right.
And I think most people, when you talk about the idea of a nation, they're gonna think about like fucking the Congo. They're gonna think about Russia.
Yeah.
And the problem with that when we come to like discussions like this is what you're talking about does like it is important and it does I think it transcends that concept. And so that I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that a little bit more because it's the first time I've really thought about that in those terms.
No,
but I think the core of what you're saying is true. It makes a lot of sense. And Christian nationalism is like fundamentally an oxymoron. Like you can't have
it doesn't
that.
work,
especially given the idea that in the case of Christian nationalism, what always comes first? Not in the semantics of the phrase, but like America's first.
Yeah, it's patriotism and all of this. It's state worship.
It is. It's like worship of some other entity that's not the creator. Like that's what it is at its root. Period. And maybe that is, to your point, like another little g god out there that is legitimately accepting the worship of these people. People, that I grew up as one of them, like assuming that nationalism was this like good moral thing to ascribe to because that's what it's given to us as. We're told like, you want to be a good person? Be proud of your country. Put your hand over your heart and say the pledge. How fucked up and culty is that? Like that's so screwed up. And so, I mean, the core of your point, I'm not disagreeing with at all. They can't, one cannot exist with the other. If you fully believe in the idea of like your faith and Christianity, you cannot be a Christian nationalist. It just doesn't work. Now there might be some like concepts and ideas of like the idea of America that are nice. And I'm not taking anything away from that, but America is a fake entity anyway. Like it's a fake demonic entity. And I think what they've done is weave in a lot of really nice concepts that come from, and I am going to use your terminology here, even though I'm not sure I agree with it, but that come from the idea of what a legitimate like Christian nation, Christian utopia would be like if it played out the way it's intended to. The idea of like free speech, the idea of like freedom to do and say what you will, those ideas are wrapped up and sewn into the concept of America, even though that's not what it is. We've sewn in enough truth. We've sewn in enough of the creator's design to make it tantalizing to people, enough to turn it on its head, to get your buy-in, to just turn you around and absolutely fuck you after you buy into it. Like that's what we've done. That's what they've done.
Yeah.
And I think events like this, the 74th National Prayer Breakfast, are such a good example of that. And it's borne out when you go talk to Mamaw about it, right? Or Joe Blow down the street, or your friend Ted, who you work with, and you're like, dude, I think this national prayer breakfast is kind of retarded. And they're like, what? Do you hate Jesus?
Yeah.
Do you hate? You don't want to go to the prayer breakfast? You hate Jesus? No, I hate America. And they're gonna take that as you attacking their God. And for me, what does that tell? It tells you their God isn't Big G God. It's not Yahweh. It's not the Creator. It's something else. Their God is whatever evil spiritual entity is sapping up your energy when you say the Pledge of Allegiance, when you jerk off to 9/11, whatever people are doing out there. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's why I grabbed this video and wanted to talk about it. Because we're going to talk about a little bit more of these concepts. We're going to do a stream tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it's kind of what I mentioned earlier. Is they've rooted their faith into something that they don't even realize they've done it.
Yeah.
And that is one of the most it's so pervasive, especially across, the church. Pick your denomination, pick your tradition, whatever.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
And this is an example of it. It's one of the most glaring examples of it. And I just wanted to point out, it's like, hey, this doesn't work. This doesn't work if you actually take scripture in any way, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I mean you're exactly right, and it's just, for me it's alarming how, I don't know, how difficult it is to present that to people and not have them conflate the idea of like nationalism and Christianity.
Well, yeah, and it's like they take that they harp on the Christianity word, and they're thinking that you're speaking against that. It's like, no, I'm speaking for that.
Yeah,
this ain't it, and it's a hard thing to unravel in the way, especially we're in Bible Belt culture, so we see it all the time.
Yeah,
it's a hard thing to unravel.
It's virtually impossible because it's been so borderline inextricably intertwined for most of these people.
Yeah,
you're taught, if you walk into any religious organization south of the Mason-Dixon line, that's like,
you've got an American flag on your stage when you're leading the prayer,
Yeah, right. Like, let's pray for our leaders. No, they're not leaders. I mean, you can pray for them, sure, but like, let's not pretend like we're praying for real people who are really leading anything. Like, we're already basing your supplications to the Creator off of bad concepts. Like, we're starting from a bad place already.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah,
and that's a super depressing way to, but it's true. It's just true. I don't even know how else you can look at that from as a rationally thinking human.
Yeah, and it's just a reality. As I've been studying a little bit more and just paying attention, like they seem to be really like this. I think this is how it's going to go down. I think this false Christian national revival, that seems to be waiting in the back end. I think it's how it's going to be how it goes down, or at least how they're going to get there to whatever the deception is.
Yeah,
and man, people who see it have got to just start shouting because it's so dangerous.
No, I completely
it's
agree.
So unbelievably dangerous. And I more so want to save this probably till tomorrow. But if you see kind of how the 501c3 and the country club system have been set up, they've set it up perfectly for this.
They have,
and just we've got to be on it. We've got to be on it, and it's.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I've been saying this for a little bit, I think, on this show. I sometimes I lose track of what I've said on here and what I haven't. But like, I personally am of the opinion this stuff that's been going on with Trump, with TPUSA, with Charlie Kirk, with Tucker, with Putin right now, a lot of these figures is fundamentally engineered to grab all of those people. Like, all of those people who could potentially, like, with a little bit of a push, be on the edge of like waking up.
Mm-hmm.
There were people who were people who have, since all of the nonsense has gone down all of the, libtard stuff, all the shit that went down in 2029, there have been a lot of people, I think, who have been kind of like wondering, questioning, because a lot of it's become more and more obvious. And this is a way to grab so many of those people, to pull them back in, to assuage their guilt and their concerns. You were worried about Trump being, don't worry. He's going to lead a prayer breakfast. He's a good person.
Yeah.
And it's weird how there are different rules for him than there are for, the broke asshole who sits on, the last pew at church with your family, I think these are absolutely engineered to grab those people for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And as kind of like you said, whatever the next stage is ushered in, this is going to be like the collar that connects to the leash they're going to be led away with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And with that bleak message, we
I mean, you end it like that. It's not really necessarily a bleak message because, you can see it and you can actually intervene, As I alluded to earlier, as these structures fall down, like there's an opportunity to get people's faith seated where it should be.
I mean, sure.
And that's where where it should be left.
I don't give a fuck about where it should be left, John. I find it depressing. Fuck off.
I mean, fair enough. I mean, yeah, fair enough.
I think that's okay.
Fair enough.
I think that's okay. And that is what okay. I'm gonna get on my soapbox here for a second. I realize we need to end this and I need to go to bed. But one of the things that I've heard ad nauseum, and I get it, I tend to be kind of a negative guy, but this whole idea of like you've gotta like find you can't talk about negative shit and just let it be negative for a little bit. Like, I think that's okay.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to be upset by some of this stuff and just be upset by it for a little bit. Sure, if that causes you to like sit on your ass and be like a useless nihilistic fuck, yeah, don't engage with it, don't look at it, don't pay attention to it, like stay the hell away. But a problem that I've run into in this space is people completely guilt tripping you from simply recognizing like, bro, that sucks.
Yeah.
And just being okay with the fact that it sucks. Because some of it just sucks. And sure, there might be a little bit of a silver lining, but it still sucks. Like, it's like when you have a relative die and people are like, well, they're not in pain anymore. Fuck off. They're dead. Like, it's not good. Like, like what? Yeah,
that's a good analogy.
But they're still dead.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
And so it's one of the things, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to get on you, but
no. That's a good point.
That has bothered me in this sphere, especially like in my personal sphere, a lot, that I feel like needs to be called out to some degree. Because it's okay if stuff sucks sometimes.
That is a good point.
So, guys, it's okay if stuff sucks. So yeah, but no, it is crazy how much they appear to be grabbing for those people. And yeah, we'll see where it goes. It is headed towards it, especially with this disclosure stuff. It seems like some kind of big deception shit's gonna happen sometime soon. Who knows? We'll see. Yeah. We will see. So with that being said, thanks for listening, folks. If you haven't yet, go check out the Patreon. Again, it's only $2 a month right now. $2. Okay, you can't buy a pack of gum for that anymore. And we're giving you bonus eps, behind the scenes content, access to a Discord. Or maybe some kind of chat.
Doesn't completely suck.
Yeah.
I'm worried about what Discord's doing. I got to look into it.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll have that ready before March 1st when this is going to go live. So get in before that because those prices are going to change. We're going to have some more tiers at that point as well. If you get in now, you'll get whatever the highest tier is. So get in now. Go check out all of the audio platforms.
Is that correct?
What?
Was that what we're doing?
Is it not?
I don't know. We haven't talked about that.
Okay.
Just get in now. You're going to get stuff for cheap because we haven't fleshed that out.
Sorry.
Apparently.
Sometimes I say shit and maybe I shouldn't. I couldn't remember what we said, so I just started talking.
Yeah, it's a reason why you have a notepad and have to write shit down.
I didn't. Yeah, it is. I didn't refer to it this time. But yeah, get in while you can. Also, go give us a follow wherever you're listening, be it on the YouTubes or the Rumbles or whatever platform you prefer. Give us a follow. It does help out the show. We appreciate it. We will be getting back to a more regular streaming schedule now that I'm less of a bitch. So look for us tomorrow, ideally around this same time.
Yeah, tomorrow at
That
7.
may or may not get moved. I'm not sure. I think we will post and let you guys know.
You got some shits?
I may have some shits. I
Ooh.
can't remember. This is why I write things down. Likely we will be live tomorrow, but that may be subject to change.
Well, damn, I teased a lot of the shit we were going to talk about in the content that I chose.
I know. We'll be talking about the same shit more than likely tomorrow. More than likely it will be tomorrow. For some reason, I thought I had something happen where I was like, shit, that's going to affect that stream. I can't remember what it was now. I will look immediately after this. So if that changes, we will post and let you guys know. But more than likely tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central Time. Check us out on all the socials. On the tweeters, give us a follow on the X. And with that being said, is there anything else we need to go over, John?
We got some guests coming up.
Oh, shit, we do.
We didn't even mention it at the start of the stream.
I completely forgot. We have Danny from the Rabbit Hole podcast on February 16th.
Yeah.
At 7 Central. Again, I believe that's at 7 Central.
Yep.
And then we have Jules. I think that's going to be, he hasn't confirmed with me yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be on the 28th. Likely around 7 Central again. I'm not sure exactly what time. We haven't confirmed that. But
Okay.
I sent him dates, and he said those will work. And then I sent him a specific date, and I haven't heard back. So I assume it will work.
Okay.
So we'll have Jules from Grape Hill on the 28th. I'm excited about that. First step with him was fun.
Yep.
So we'll be doing that again. Cannot wait. So yeah, that's what we have going on. If you guys have any videos you want us to go over on a Tuesday stream, shoot us an email at theveritasroad@gmail.com or hit us up on one of the socials. Also, we're working on a new segment that may or may not go on the page. I'm not sure how it's going to work, but if you have any strange conspiracy theory stories, your own theories, your own weird stuff that's happened, write them into us. Write it down and send it to us. Ideally, email it to us at the Veritas Road. I don't think we've teased the name of that show yet or kind of what it's going to look like. But if you have any like conspiracy theory concepts or any, is that right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Write those down and send those in.
Very unique conspiracy theory concepts. That's somewhat unique to you.
Yeah.
We can see if we can piece that.
Any thoughts and ideas? Yeah. Send those in. We're working on a show to incorporate some of those, so we would love anything you guys have. So, thanks for listening, folks, and we will catch you guys more than likely tomorrow.
We hope.
So, see you folks then. Bye.